All right, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to another Quick Win Collective Friday Mastermind. We are so excited to have you here. Hey, as everybody is beginning to come in the room, looks like we've already got 350 people just like that coming in, continuing to come in. Go into the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from so we can see where everybody's from around the country is joining us. And that'll give us a great idea of exactly how many people are jumping in here. Here we go, 420. We're growing fast. We're getting there quick. Drop it in the chat where you're coming from so we can see. Miami, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Minnesota, Texas, Georgia, Chicago, all over. So welcome again to another edition of the Quick Win Collective. Hey, listen, I want to say a special thank you last week to Chris Kelly, Lawrence Yun. Amazing information that I know a lot of you got a value out of. Listen, if you ever want to watch any of these replays, you can go to my YouTube channel. You click on the tab for videos, then you click on the tab for live, and all of the live replays are there as well. So a couple of things. Oh, man, people coming in from all over. Jacksonville, let's see, Virginia, St. Augustine, Hilton Head, Tucson. So great to see everybody on here. Hey, listen, we're already up right at 500 people in here. So we're going to go ahead and get started because we got a great group of agents and leaders from across the country. Want to kick this off the way we love to do this is getting some insights from my friend and one of the most valuable people to the entire industry, in my opinion, right now, Chris Kelly, CEO and president of Home Services of America. Chris, if you can come forward, I'd love to get some insights. We've had a lot going on this past week as far as a lot of news headlines, a lot of things affecting a lot of different things. And so, Chris, if you don't mind, just tell us what you're seeing out there right now.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm just grateful that I didn't burn down your studio last week when I was substituting in for you. But I had the easiest hosting duties of all time. All I had to do was welcome in Justin Mester from PHM, let him spread his knowledge, and then turn it over to Lawrence Yun for about 40 minutes. So if you ever need me to host, and that's the kind of thing I get to do, I'm all in. I'll do it every single time. So just, yeah, your studio is still intact. So thanks for letting me sit in the chair for a bit.
It's our studio.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I think for starters, you and I were together at an event in Atlanta yesterday with our company, Harry Norman. And it just reminded me, whether we're doing it in person, whether we're doing it in virtual, these opportunities where we're getting together on these weekly bases, or when we have those events like Explosion or Summit or Convention or Stronger Together, that's really the power of this network, is getting our great folks together and sharing ideas. And yesterday kind of really reminded me of that. And so appreciate what you're doing every week to kind of create this network and this community that we have of our agents. And it really, really makes a huge difference. As you noted, yeah, there was a lot that happened over this past week. And I'm just going to kind of share something real quick to kind of, I think, hopefully maybe spark some conversations that we all should be having with our clients right now. And obviously around the rates, we had the, Fed meeting last week, and they did drop it a quarter point. But I want to point out some things that happened and what didn't happen. And so the first thing to notice is this is last week. So this is everything that happened over this past week with mortgage rates and stuff. So you saw, like, when the announcement happened, you saw this kind of quick drop, right? We got down in the 6.1 range of a mortgage. The 10-year treasury yield barely went below 4% for like a second. But then you saw what happened over the next 2 days, over Wednesday and Thursday. We saw it kind of climb back up again. And a lot of this was because it was baked in. But there's a massive opportunity here, because when we were reaching out to clients, this stuff hits the news, right? Our consumers saw that the Fed cut rates. That spurs something in their mind to have a conversation. So it's a perfect opportunity to reach out to them and say, I want to talk to you about what happened and what didn't happen, in case you're curious about this and stuff. And so you can kind of talk about the rates. You can kind of talk about what happened with it, and that we have an opportunity here as we move forward. The other thing that I think it's really important for the fence sitters, what I've got highlighted in orange here is, what were the rates this time last year? Exact same dates. And what we'll see here, rates were actually lower last year than they are right now. So when someone thinks like, yeah, I saw the Fed's cutting rates, I'm going to wait a little bit longer now. I'm going to wait till they get through these next 3 or 4 rate cuts, and then I'll maybe get into the market. It's a good time to show them, like, look, here's what's happened. This time last year, when we're at, as of yesterday, 6.37 for the average 30-year fixed, it was 6.15 this time last year. And where have prices gone in your market, right? Are they up 3%? Are they up 2%? Because you've now negated that out, right? So when you were waiting at 6.15, waiting for it to go down, price appreciation in most markets, not all, we've seen it kind of mixed across the country, but even if it's flat, we're not in a better position, at least if you're looking at your monthly payment. So there's no guarantee. No one has a crystal ball. I love the fact that Lawrence said that last Friday. He's predicting what's going to happen in the future. but it's not a guarantee, right? We have all kinds of data that we can look at. So we don't know where things are going to go. But I can tell you one of the things that are pretty certain is that we likely are not going to see rates go dramatically below 6% for 3 reasons right now. The one is rates initially dropped when the quarter point was announced, but then Jerome Powell came out and started talking, and he sounded a lot more hawkish than he did dovish. He talked about this rate cut being kind of, an opportunity to kind of like hedge their bets a little bit, right? To kind of just, and so it did not sound like, oh, we're going into a heavy cut environment. There's a prediction that we'll have a couple more cuts this year. And then right now, what they're thinking is 1 cut in 2026. Again, all of that could change, but that's where we're at right now. So I have it in red because that's a warning signal that things probably won't go dramatically lower than where we are right now. We're also going to need, number 2, worse economic and labor data. I've got that in orange because it's a mixed signal, right? Labor certainly softening. We're seeing that with the job creation, but inflation is still above their 2% target. Now, there's debate of whether or not 2% should be the target or not. Should they, just accept that 2.5%, 3% inflation is where we're going to be and just treat it like that? But it's not at their target. So you're not going to see some dramatic moves there because of inflation. And then improved mortgage spread. So as a reminder, we talked about it last week. There's the 10-year yield at a spread. That's how you get your 30-year fixed, right? That spread has improved over this year, but it's not back to historic norms. And so we've seen it get better, but it's still inflated. And based on that economic data, that spread can still do this and that. So the conversation with the clients would be is, 1, they saw the news this week. It's a perfect opportunity to reach out and have a conversation with them and then lay the expectations of what's happened and what hasn't happened. Because if they're thinking about doing something, remind them where we were last year, remind them where we are this year. And then based on the data that we have, it's probably likely we're going to be in that 6% environment for the foreseeable future on mortgage rates, unless we see some dramatic things happen in the economy. So don't let that be the driver of whether or not you're getting in the market or not. That's really the key thing. And as Justin noted last week, there's a lot of things that we can do with our mortgage partners to kind of help with that rate for a period of time if that's what they're after. But I don't want folks waiting around for this magical thing to happen in 6 months that's going to bring rates down to 5 or 4.5. It's just not coming. Again, unless we have something really massive happen, that's probably bad. They always say, pandemic or war. We don't want either one of those. So just wanted to share that, just kind of a little bit of a reality check of what we've seen happen over the last week. We'll have a couple more rate cuts, it sounds like, through the balance of this year. We'll see what happens. But again, the economy is kind of baking that into what some of their projections are right now.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Chris, the reason why I wanted to make sure we did this, and there were a couple people that wanted the slides. We're going to get to Google Business Profile in just a second, guys. When you have something that changes, because I loved the way that Jenny Bonero put it yesterday, where she said, hey, look, the Fed cut doesn't necessarily affect directly, obviously, mortgage rates. But what it does is it changes the mentality of where we're headed and what we're doing. And so I love that concept to understand that. We had a couple of people asking about those slides. Chris, I don't know if that's something you can send those slides over to Sam.
Yep.
And Sam, you can share those, because those, if I'm going to give you kind of a tip right before we go into everything we're going to do with Google Business Profile. What Chris just gave you, especially that first slide, that is a great talking point. That's a great video to do a green screen video with that behind you on Instagram or on social media and explain what Chris just said in your own words. And it's going to show you as the local expert who is explaining what's happening in the marketplace. Another thing I want to add to that real quick is that Jimmy Mackin will be with us next week, and we're going to talk about some of this language. He and I work with a group, and Chris, as you know, you and I were discussing this yesterday. This is a window here potentially also. Last year when we saw rates dip to this, 5-6 weeks later, we were brought up at 7%. So it's like when we have these opportunities to have these conversations, make sure you're having them. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Chris, thank you, as
Thanks,
always,
everybody,
for leading, preparing, and getting all of us equipped with the best information as quick as possible. So
you bet.
Timely information. Hey, I'm going to share my screen and show this. This is actually, I was mentioning that Jimmy had said this. And so with the group we were working with, this is something that's super practical and actionable for you guys. This is the text that he suggested we send out. And the results from this of generating conversations were through the roof, okay? And it's hi from you. This just happened, and I thought you'd appreciate an update. Rates just hit their lowest level since last October. I'm already seeing increased buyer activity. If they drop again, do you want me to let you know right away? This is a great conversation starter. It's a great way for you to kind of be the market leader, the person who's getting opportunities to create these conversations. We had some amazing results from sending these texts to those folks that are out there that have maybe been sitting on the fence, or maybe that we're wondering if things have changed for them. It's a great way to do that. All right, let's get into Google Business Profile because, man, we got some good stuff for y'all today. This is going to be one of those that I believe has the ability, if you'll take practical steps from the things you're going to hear, will have an immediate impact, not just today, but it will have an impact that will have a trajectory, change the trajectory of your business going forward. Google Business, look, we would be naive to think that when someone is trying to figure out who they're going to work with, or even if they're introduced to you or they referred to you, that they're not going to go to Google and they're not going to go in and Google your name. Google Business Profile gives us the ability to set that up. It's free, where we set the stage. This is our resume that we can set up so that we understand that the first thing they're going to see, we can position ourselves as that local expert. So we're going to go into some of these things. First off, what I want to do is I want to bring on Rachel Monroe. Rachel is creative marketing strategist here at BHHS, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Beach Properties in Florida. I have known her since she was a teenager. She has been working for over 10 years here at Beach Properties in Florida, and she brings a ton of knowledge, a ton of experience, and she's going to outline some of the things that we're seeing for best practices, what we're helping our agents with locally, and help you get some of these things positioned for you as well. So, Rachel, if you don't mind, thank you for doing this, first off.
Yeah,
And
thank you for
if you
having
don't
me.
mind, if you can share your screen and go through some of this, and then listen, you've been around me long enough to know I will probably interrupt you. But just give me some grace right out of the gate, and we'll go through this. And again, if you got questions, we're going to have a time of Q&A, but drop them in there. And Sam, if we have some specific questions for Rachel as we go through this, if you don't mind, just jump in. Let us know as we're going through this, okay?
Yeah, totally feel free to interrupt me as you need. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, Google My Business. Honestly, would not necessarily call myself the expert on this, but I'm happy to share what I know and what I've learned just working with agents. Like Jimmy said, honestly, this is a practical tool, and I think a lot of people get pretty intimidated to do this. You can do it, okay? Don't let that stop you. Okay, why does it matter? Obviously, like Jimmy said, Google Business Profile is going to be your digital first impression before people ever meet you. It's oftentimes going to be the first thing that people see when they're Googling either your name or realtors near me. So it's very important. Like he said, it's also, you might consider it your online resume. So think of it like this. Would you ever hand out an incomplete resume to a client? Heck no, you would not do that. So, but that's what's happening if your Business Profile is out there, not fully set up and not optimized. It's not the greatest first impression in the world. A well-curated profile is also going to help garner you trust before you ever even talk to these people. You're going to want to have 5-star reviews on there, obviously. You probably already have them floating around somewhere in your business. Hopefully you do. But that's going to help garner trust and give you credibility. Okay, the key benefits to it. Obviously, visibility is going to help you to appear in local searches and even on the map. Whether you have a physical office location or even just service areas, you're going to show up on the map if your profile is well curated. And like I said, all these 5-star reviews that you're going to get and your complete, fully filled out info is going to garner you credibility and make you look like you're not just some agent who decides to sell real estate on the weekends. You're fully active, you're professional, and you care about your business. Also, as we know, people are doing a lot of their searches or just even starting their real estate concept on Google anyways. So they're probably going to Google whether it's your name, whether it's the best realtor on 30A or something like that. They're Googling you first, and they're going to do it most likely on their phone. So test this out later and let me know if I'm wrong. But when you Google something like that, maybe it's not you that pulls up first, but Google businesses are going to show up above websites, above your social media even. It's going to be the first search results, whether it's you or not. So if it were me, even as a marketing girl, a social media girl, and I had to choose between having a really great Facebook page, I had to choose whether I had that or Instagram or TikTok even or X or Twitter or Google Business Profile. I'm picking Google Business if I have to pick one because, well, one, if I'm having to pick one, I probably don't have the time to keep all of those things updated anyways. And Google Business is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of time. It's free, so that's not even, shouldn't hold you back, first of all. But in terms of time, you're going to set it up and get it, put effort in up front. And then after that, it's pretty low key maintenance. So you're going to spend less time keeping it updated and it's going to get you better conversion results. Same concept as whether I would choose Google Business over social media. Your Google Business profile, as you can see, has your call button, directions button to come to directly to your office, your website, your social media handles. All of the quick action buttons are right there and easy. And that's what people are doing on Google anyways. They're there to probably have an action like that rather than just scrolling on social media. So your action rate is going to be way higher on your Google business profile than Instagram, for example. And that's not me hating on social media. I hope you're doing that too.
Hey, Rachel, a couple questions as you're flipping over. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and talk about how to optimize this. But a couple of questions we already got that I saw. Someone is asking, is there a way to pull over your Zillow reviews over to Google? There is not specifically. Obviously, you can request and basically just take that and send a link to that person and say, hey, I really appreciate you submitting this on Zillow. If you don't mind, it really helps my business. If you were to actually put this also on Google, here's a link. If you want to just copy and paste your previous review, it'll take 2 seconds. That's one way, depending on how much you know that client and what you're willing to ask. The second way is what we're doing a lot of times is because we're going to get into the fact that you need as many pictures as possible on there, is you could actually take and screenshot that and upload it as a review picture on your picture portion. So it actually acts like something where you're just copying those things. So it may not show up as a number in your numbers of reviews, but as people are scrolling through your pictures, it reinforces some of the things that you're seeing as far as the value that you bring through the reviews. So those are a couple of things. Someone asked about testimonial tree. I know a lot of companies are utilizing testimonial tree. We do as well. Someone asked, can you connect directly with your Google business profile for those to come in from testimonial tree? Rachel, can you answer that?
Yes.
If not, I can.
Yes, you
Okay.
can. And Testimonial Tree has a couple tutorials actually on how to do this. Um, it's pretty simple once you get it set up. Obviously, Testimonial Tree is a great tool to automate this even further. Basically, how once you get that integration set up, if someone is in your testimonial tree and writing a review, it should give them an option to copy their review and then their one click button, and it's going to bring them to your review page on Google, and they'll have to paste it and hit submit. So it's not like exactly direct copying the review in 2 places at once, but it's pretty easy. So
Yeah.
yes, you can do that.
Hey, we just got another question about another, I think it was Rate My Agent. Really, Luke, think of it this way. The way I think of Google Business Profile is like a hub with spokes going out. Rachel mentioned we'll have your links to all of your social media. We're going to have you link to your website. We're going to have reviews there. But it is really a place where it's hard to pull all of those in, but there's a number of different ways. We're going to hear from 2 amazing agents from across the country after Rachel as well, where they can talk to you about, I know specifically about what they've been doing to generate these, specifically the reviews on there. So we're going to keep moving for now with how to optimize and some of the things, Rachel, if you don't mind here.
Yeah, hopefully we're not like totally copying all the same info, but I know these
No,
agents
we're
are
not.
going to have some really great
Yeah.
tips for you beyond this. Obviously, search engine optimization, Google is going to be your #1 search engine. So if you're not showing up on Google, your SEO, not great. So it's just crazy not to, honestly, in my opinion. It's free SEO. Google is king when it comes to this. So when you have your business profile set up correctly, it's going to show up in Google searches. Another thing we've been talking about a lot lately, and Jimmy talks about a lot, is generative engine optimization. So a lot of people now are not just Googling you, they're asking ChatGPT about you or about realtors in the area or people who specialize in this or that, or even about homes in certain neighborhoods. AI, whenever they're answering questions that people put in as prompts, AI likes to pull information from clean, trusted sources, aka Google. Your Google business profile is built for that, for AI to easily read all of your information and answer questions that people ask. So we need to obviously, as we're filling out all of this information, I'll show you some more about that in a minute, but a strong Google business profile is going to help you surface more in ChatGPT answers.
Hey,
So a
I did
couple,
see
yeah.
Real quick, a couple of questions that keep coming up about, hey, people that are in an office, and the office has an address. You and I have talked about this, and they're having trouble. What is the workaround for an individual agent to share that office location?
Yeah, this can be a little tricky. I know you're not the only one that gets hung up on that. A lot of people do. It's real estate agents and a couple other professions, if you have your category set correctly as a real estate agent, you should have the option when you're setting it up to choose. You should still be able to have the option to put your office address. Like this photo on my screen is our office address. So if you get, you might be going down the wrong path if it's asking you to request access to something like this. Don't do that. You won't have to go back a step and click that you're located within that office. It should give you the option to do that. Um, Even if you don't if you don't want to use your office address, you certainly don't have to. You can still put your specific niche service areas and you're still going to show up on the map. But yes, there is an option to choose that you're located within your office's business profile. If that
And
means
let me say, because I've seen a few people say, hey, the verification process has been challenging. I would agree. We've gone through this with a number of different agents, but let me just say this: stay the course and do the work and make sure that you get through it. It's worth it over time. And it may take you extra steps. It's going to be frustrating. I wish there was an easy way with some of this. Some people just fly through, but just do the work and make sure, because once you get it set up, you're going to be in a lot better shape as far as that goes as well. So
yeah.
yes, I know this process sometimes, the getting started, just like Rachel said, the getting started is the heavy lifting. I mean, it's the same thing, it's the old, it takes more energy to take off in a plane than it does to fly. Once you get going, you can coast a little bit. So do that work up front. And also, I think, Rachel, at the end, we're going to have a checklist for people as well on some of the things they can do to get set up as well. So we'll have that for you guys here at the end. And if we haven't shared that with Sam yet, Rachel, when you get done, if you don't mind sharing it, he can share it out in there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, on the verification note, you have to get, unlike a social media or like an Instagram verification, that's kind of an optional thing that you can pay for, or if you're just super famous and you're cool like that and you get one. But Google's verification, you have to have that in order to show up at all. So if if your page is not verified, it's not showing up. So you definitely have to do that. Usually, in an ideal world, it gives you an easy option to just text you a code that you then put in and you're verified. That's what I found most often. It's easy when you're setting up from scratch. I'm not saying to start over, but if you are setting up from scratch, just make sure to do that right the first time. It might also ask you to do like a mailed postcard situation with a code. That should work too. It just takes a little longer, obviously. Um, but yeah, it can get a little tricky there. That's just Google being Google, and they get to choose what verification method you get. I wish it was a little more straightforward than that. But like Jimmy said, you can do it. Don't not do it because of that. Um, Also, seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people skip steps here. You want to complete every single field that you possibly can in your profile setup. So that includes obviously putting in your location, your hours, your contact info, your website, a well-written bio. If you don't love yours, put it in ChatGPT and it'll help you fix that up. You can even tell it to optimize it for Google Business. And then your hours. A lot of people, I will say, put in always open in their hours, which you probably are always available and open to take a phone call. However, there's some benefit to putting in some actual set hours instead of saying that. It looks a little bit more professional and legit when you have, even if it's like 8 to 8, basically all day. It looks better for your profile to show that you're open rather than just to say always open, because that's not as quite as trustworthy. And ChatGPT likes that also. So try that out. Add in high quality photos. I don't want to see any blurry, shaky photos of anything like that in there. Just don't do that. We want to see your headshot, your logo in the actual logo field. When you're uploading photos, you'll see that. And then your cover photo, you'll want to put, if you have an office, like this page, for example, you can put your office photo. You can put, if you're on a team, your team photo. It's going to be the first one that shows up above your name like that. Or if you don't have any of that, putting a hyper local photo. I've told our agents I don't want to see just like a generic beach photo that could be anywhere on the Gulf Coast. I want to see something that's niche and specific and recognizable for the areas that you're serving in.
Yeah, let me
Um,
add to that too. Let
mhm.
me give a little best practice on this. One of the things that we've seen, and I'm going to just give you some benchmarks where we really saw this, and we saw this with a couple of our agents that we helped set this up over the years. Getting to 25 reviews is a great number. Okay, now it's unlike Zillow, Realtor.com, where it has to be verified sales. These can be reviews by people that you do. So, in other words, you're going to hear in just a little bit from Maxwell where he's utilizing local businesses and doing some of these things and then tying back some of those. You can have friends, you can have other service providers where you exchange these. You can have people that are referral sources for you that maybe haven't done a transaction with you, but they can leave you a review. 25 reviews, 100 photos. Now, on the photos, what Rachel's talking about is localized photos. Now, you can't put what it is a lot of times a description on the photos, but what you can do is that Google is grabbing, and the information is before you upload those, make the file name something that is searchable. So, for instance, we're in Seaside, Florida. I'm going to use this as an example. If I'm uploading a photo of Seaside, what I would do is I would put Seaside and whatever it is, something that might be searchable for someone so that that photo might come up because it points them back to your Google business profile. So think of it when you're naming the file on the photo before you submit it. Think of search terms when you're using that. Nobody ever sees it except for Google. So it gives you more credibility on that. Get to 100 photos as quick as you can. Now, look, this is not dump 100 photos. This is doing 15 to 20, 10 per week. Consistency matters when it comes to Google Business Profile. They want to see activity. They want to see consistency. This is why getting a review, getting a big push on reviews and getting 50 reviews, it'll help. But if you were to get a review every week for 50 weeks, that would be completely something that would be more, it would be better because Google sees consistency. It sees you active. And there is a recency bias when it comes to Google. So from that standpoint, just think from that standpoint as you're loading these things up. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about the post portion, Rachel, and what they should be doing there as well.
Yeah, posts is just kind of like your mini social media feed. You can honestly copy posts. If you're posting something on Facebook, post it here too. Pretty much the same content style. It doesn't have to be that fancy, but like Jimmy's saying, the more activity and the consistency that you're showing on Google, the more you're likely you're going to show up in searches. So definitely keep that updated as well. I'll
Hey,
skip.
and as we keep moving, because we're going to get to them, I know we've been trying to answer these questions. The questions are coming
Yeah.
fast. What
Okay.
I'm seeing is we should have another one of these here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, we're going to probably take and snapshot this, Sam, if we can, all of these questions, and we'll put together a follow-up for Google Business Profile here in a few weeks, where we'll do this again with some other agents so we continue to get better at this because I can see the value that people are getting with doing this. So that's coming, just so you know, and we're going to see some amazing things also when we get to the other folks now. So some optimization tips if you want to finish that up and keep
Yeah, that's
moving if
pretty
you don't
much
mind.
it for that. I wanted to show an example of one of our agents who I think is just killing his Google business profile.
Yes.
This is the
Mm-hmm.
Duran Group out of our Panama City Beach office. He's just got this super well filled out. He has 95-star reviews. I'm pretty sure every single one of them is 5 stars. Obviously, he's got all his info filled out correctly. He's got his hours set 7 to 7. He's posting regular updates. He's got his social media handles in here. He's got a well-written bio that's got keywords and important information to show credibility. This I thought was really impressive. Actually, I don't see a lot of people doing this. Um, He's got all of his listings in here listed as products. And if you were to click and open view all, this is just a screen recording or I would do it. He has a section for sold properties, like recently sold, available homes, and available condos. Honestly, I just thought that was genius and really cool. Um, this is what that looks like when you click open one of his listings. It shows just some quick info. It's nothing fancy. It's just one photo enough to kind of pique your interest. And then it has his call link and a link to his website to see the listing on the website. I just,
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with that, honestly.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I
Hey, and
mean,
by the
why
way,
not?
somebody had asked, how do you post these up? Great news is Jennifer Booker that's coming up next. She's going to show you exactly how she posts those and what it looks like when she does that. So I want to make sure I mention that question. One other question I wanted to follow up, Rachel, someone had asked, hey, their testimonial tree does not connect immediately. Ours didn't either. We had to go around this a little bit. And I don't know that we have time to explain that, but it can be done. Reach out to your testimonial tree representative and they will tell you exactly how to do that. Or reach out to us if they can't help you, and we'll tell you what we did to kind of try to get around that
Yeah,
as
I
well.
believe
Okay?
each agent has to do that individually. Otherwise, it's going to just default to one Google Business profile. So you don't want your reviews all dumping on like the company profile. You want them to go directly to yours. So,
Correct.
but yeah, testimonial tree would have way more advice on that than me. Um, okay, I'm just trying to skip ahead out of this. Okay, reviews. Obviously, this is probably the most important part of your Google Business profile. Um, Anyone who's going to search you is most likely looking for reviews. So, like if someone's asking, who's the best real estate agent in watercolor? AI, if they're asking that to ChatGPT, is going to pull that answer likely straight from reviews. So we want to be starting to encourage our clients, especially the ones that we become really close and friendly with, to give them a little more coaching into what we want them to say in reviews. So examples of things we want them to mention rather than just saying, Jimmy's a great agent. We want them to have your name, your role, whether you're the listing agent or the buyer's agent, the neighborhood that you were helping them in, a challenge and an outcome is awesome. And then any service strengths that you showed, like communication, negotiation skills, market knowledge, etc. Uh,
Yeah.
this is an
Hey, let me add
example
to
of how
that
to
real
ask
quick
that. Yeah.
on the reviews, because some of these things you want this continuity. And there is a firewall where some of the AIs cannot get behind yet to see some of this review information. It's coming. Believe me, it's coming. But what I would suggest also is we were talking about you can take those reviews from Google Business Profile and put them on your website under reviews also. I would encourage you to do that because it reinforces it and it makes it real easy for the AI that if it is bumping up against a problem with getting behind the wall, so to speak. The other thing I would say is if you got like Craig, I think had 100 or something like 91 5-star reviews or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It can't count how many reviews you have. So on your bios that you're utilizing for AI search, at least, go in on your website and say 91 5-star reviews on Google, because what we're seeing as we're doing the research on AI, it's pulling that information from the website. It's just requoting what you're telling it on your website. So just think of it that way as well. So I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and let you finish. I'm interrupting you a ton.
Good. This
Usual.
is actually
Yeah.
kind of an example from you, from your Inman article. I tweaked it kind of slightly, but just because I'm like a little grammar nerd. A quick way to ask that, just if you have a client that you feel comfortable, you can ask, which I think you should. Most likely, if you have a positive experience with people, they're going to be more than happy to write a review. So don't be scared to ask for that. A quick favor, would you be willing to leave me a Google review, including the neighborhood city, and I would customize that for the agent so it doesn't just look like you copy pasted it. The price point, how I helped, and then include maybe something specific in that sale that was noteworthy. This makes it even more helpful for neighbors to find me. Thank you so much. Pretty simple way to ask if you're not sure how to write that.
Yeah, this is great. Hey, listen, I want to say this too. I love seeing all of this in the chat. And what I also love is seeing the collaboration. So if you've got answers to questions you see people having in there, I mean, don't just shoot from the hip, but if you've got an actual answer and you've overcome this, answer those questions. This is why we do this, is because we want to be the most collaborative company in the world. And so this is a great way during these to help each other. So if you've got answers to some of these that you're seeing in the chat, please jump in and help your fellow agents. I've found it always comes back to you. So, all right, courage specific reviews.
Yeah, this is just an example of what I'm talking about. Like that first example that we got on our business profile page. Shelly Shepard did an amazing job. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Doesn't super help with AI keywords. This other example, though, I thought was gold. I underlined the stuff that it looks like I just underlined everything, but I underlined the important keywords that we love to see in these reviews. They listed her name, what they were looking for, where they were looking for, gave her some shout outs for her strengths, knowing the market extremely well. She was smart, patient, extremely professional, and then even mentioned a challenge that they had and how she helped them overcome it. Honestly, that is just a pretty perfect review just to show you an example. Again, just a little side note here, don't forget to respond to every single review. Even if you get like a random nasty one, respond to that one too. It shows that you're professional, that you are active, and you care about your business, and you care about that, about people not having negative experiences.
Yeah, this is good.
I'm just showing you here how to get that whenever you do write out that question to ask for a review. This is how you're going to go to get your link to make it super easy. Don't ask for a review and then not show them where to go. You want to make this as easy as humanly possible. So if you go to your Google business profile, let's see, I could probably start that over so you could see it again. You just scroll down to your reviews section and there's a get more reviews button. And that's what it looks like. And you just copy paste that into your email or however you're asking. And then this is what, just to show you what comes up whenever your client clicks on that, this is what's going to come up. So it just makes it super simple. So there's no reason for them not to do it. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to go like too deep into this, but your Google business profile does give you a performance dashboard. It gives you all kinds of cool analytics that you can nerd out over if you want to. But it's cool that it shows you how many searches you have had in whatever time period you have selected, and where they're coming from. I also thought this little search terms section was kind of interesting and helpful to, I mean, these are the search terms that are showing up or that are prompting your profile to show up. So something to just keep in mind as you're writing content for your page and keywords you might want to keep using. You can go all into your analytics to see all of that. Um, that's
Hey, let me
pretty
mention
much
this
all I
also.
have. I
Oh,
just
that's
wanted
great.
to, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to mention something when you get done.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to remind you, obviously, that your Google business is more than just your digital business card, if you want to call it that. It's really a living marketing tool. Think of it kind of in the social media category. So keep it fresh, keep it updated. If your website link changes, anything like that. Sorry, oh, that's popping up. Keep all your information updated is what all I was trying to say basically. And keep it appearing. Keep maybe like regularly, weekly, monthly, whatever it is that you can do. Give it a look as if you're the client and make sure it appears how you want it to appear as your digital first impression.
Yeah. Hey,
Pretty much
couple of
that.
quick things. I saw where
Mhm.
Craig Duran jumped in here. He was answering some questions. Let
Okay,
me just
good.
say this. Go follow Craig on social media. You're going to be able to see exactly how to do this at a very, very high level. Also, if you've got any referrals for Panama City Beach, I'm going to give my man since we use his stuff. And hopefully this will get him on here in a few weeks for our follow-up to see an expert and hear from that. If you've got a referral going to Panama City Beach, Florida, man, there's nobody you could do better than Craig. So Craig, just thank you for allowing us to use some of your stuff here. Thanks for jumping in and answering some questions in there. Rachel, thank you. This is great. Hey, don't you have kind of a how-to that on some of this stuff that we can share with people that we can get
I
to
do have a
Sam
sheet.
maybe?
I have like a little handout that I can drop in the chat, a couple handouts actually, if that's helpful
Okay,
to take home.
perfect. That would be great. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate everything. Great overview. And now, Jennifer, I want to come to Jennifer Booker out of Wellington, Florida. Friend of mine for a while now, just an amazing agent down there. Jennifer, as we get started with this, if you don't mind, tell everybody where you serve because look, this is again, one of the great things is understanding having a network of agents that you can trust and they know you're going to treat your referrals like family. So tell them a little bit about your areas, and then if you want to roll right into kind of your portion of this, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Palm Beach County, South Florida. And I service all of Palm Beach County, but my office is out of Wellington. And
Perfect.
I'll go ahead
Perfect.
and share my screen. So talking about reviews, I, for a long time, had about 12 reviews. I started to obviously watch your videos, Jimmy, and the magic number was 25. So I said, well, how am I going to get 25 reviews? It's hard to go back to your past clients and ask for a review when you've closed the house for so long. You haven't really, maybe kept in touch as much as you needed to. But I also I decided to do something in order to get those past clients that I know were satisfied with the job that I did. So what I do to do those is I do send a note card, a handwritten note card saying, hello, how are you? I do include a gift card for a Starbucks coffee. Everyone loves a free coffee. And I do include a QR code for them to leave me a quick review, letting them know that if they do that, it's going to help my business as well and help me help someone else in the future, just like I did with them.
Hey, Jennifer,
Uh-huh.
how do you do that? Because I always get this question from people. How do you do that where you have a gift card for them specifically? And then, I mean, is it on a group, that you do that
No, so
with
I
and a
do two
number?
things. When I'm reaching out to past clients, which I'm sure a lot of us have that haven't received a review from them, I will buy physical gift cards and I will send
Great.
that gift card with my note card. It's more of, a handwritten note card. So I want them to have that physical gift card. What I'm doing now for my current closings, I am actually sending an email. So that's what you see here. I do use AI. I write the email of what I would like to say to each person, and I have AI help me make it sound a little bit better, right? So I will include the link to my Google business. And then what I do for the small treat, which I do send it on the email, is I went into my Starbucks app, which I'm sure almost everyone has, and I added a gift card in there. And you want to set it up so that you can it reloads automatically after it's down to like $10 because you don't want your client to go use it and now there's no money. So make sure you
Right.
have it automatically reloading. And you can just take a picture, a screenshot, and add it into your email. So that's an example here. Obviously, the what's scratched out is the number that they're going to scan. Now, I did send myself this
Well
email.
played. By the way, well played. So that you didn't have free,
Yeah,
750 agents from across the
700
country. I was looking for free
sorry to get
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah. All of a sudden you just get flat. So that's really smart right there. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
but you will have a code. There's a long number that's going to show up where that grid out is. It's right there. But you do want to test this out. So I sent myself the email. I actually went through the Starbucks drive-through and I had them scan that to make sure it was working. So make sure you do that before you send the email out to your clients. So for a long time, I've had about 12 reviews, like I mentioned. So I wanted to get to that magic number of 25. You don't want to get too many reviews. I think you mentioned that, Jimmy, all at once, because Google does think that you're not doing it, correctly and that someone's just, flooding reviews. So you want to send it out sporadically and have people send you reviews, like you said, 1 to 2 a week. And I've increased the number of reviews that I have now in my Google business by doing this. And honestly, no one has used my free Starbucks, which
isn't
is
that
crazy to
crazy?
me. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're
I
getting
think
reviews anyway,
yeah, it's just the fact that they're receiving something that makes a difference, but they're not even using it.
Love
The
this.
other thing I wanted to point out, besides the note, is the pictures. You also have mentioned you want to have about 100 pictures in your Google business because that makes a difference. So you do want to upload it into the photos, and I honestly do the same post that I will do on my other social media, I will put into my Google business. So it makes it easy. You're not doing double or triple the work. You're not coming up with different things every time. The only thing that I do change is the the wording. So like you said, you want to title your picture so that it makes sense in the search, right? So someone's searching, you're going to come up. And the way I do this is I actually pay for keywords everywhere. And you can use this. It's a link that goes onto your browser. So when you're searching, you can say, what are the searches that people are looking for? Real estate in Palm Beach County. And then you can see how many people are actually looking for that specific keyword. And that's what I name my pictures. So it can be a picture of a listing. I will try to include either Palm Beach County or Wellington or Florida real estate, but I'm looking to see if it makes sense for me to use that keyword because people are searching for that. So now, I mean, you could do mortgage rates or drop, mortgage rates just dropped and name your picture that because that's what's going to come up and then your profile is going to come up.
You could literally take what Chris gave that slide earlier and put that and title it as mortgage rates as of the date. And it'd be a great post, something of value there as well.
Right. And then make sure you title that post that way so that
Correct.
keyword searches are coming up for you.
Right.
I did notice that you shared the products. I have been putting my listings on there. I think it makes a difference, especially, like you guys mentioned, make sure everything is filled out. So again, why not put all of your listings on there? It's the product that you are selling as a real estate agent. So I do have the prices on there, the address, and then an SEO optimized description. Again, so that you come up when either AI or someone's just searching on Google for you. In the post, I've also been adding, once you hit to add a post, so I'll show this a little bit slower. You're on your business Google and you want to create a post. So you just go to a post and this is where you're adding. You hit add. And for example, you're going to do your image here for a new listing. You put your description. I always add my website. I want to direct them back into my website. So that is always a link that I put on for more details. You can put in an offer. I don't do an offer. I never use this, but I do events. So if you're having an open house, I will put the open house event on Google because you're gonna, again, come up as people are searching on, open houses this weekend. So your information in your Google business account is coming up. And I did mention the products. As far as you can see on the performance, you get an email. It's either every month, I believe, is when you get an email from Google Business on your performance. And you can also take a look at it every time right here. It shows you how many people have seen your profile. As you can see, consistency definitely makes a difference. In May, I was very consistent on my postings. I'm a solo agent, so obviously I'm doing everything. My summer slowed down, and you can see the slowdown on how many people actually went into my Google Business account. But if it makes a difference if you continuously post, if you get those reviews for people to come in and send reviews. I have asked my business partners, my lenders, my title companies to add a review. Even my inspectors have added reviews for me, which makes a difference. And this year, I've actually seen an increase from realtor referrals. So broker to broker referrals has increased this year since I've increased my reviews on my Google business, because I always ask my referral partners, where did you find me? And most of them I said, well, I just Googled you and you came up for that area. So it's almost like 150% increase. From last year, I only did 16% of broker to broker referrals. And this year I'm about 41% of my business is coming from broker to brokers.
Yeah, this is so good. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing I wanted to add, Jennifer, because you and I have talked about this a lot. As a single agent, sometimes you can't do everything. Give yourself some grace. Once you get to the benchmarks, which Jennifer did, even when she's having those months where she can't be as consistent, she's still getting some of those referrals. And a lot of that is because she's done the work before. People are going back, they see her. And even though her activity level may be going down, the people that are coming on as far as agents searching for agents in that area, or they're verifying who Jennifer is and they see her reviews, that gives her the ability to almost secure that business or that referral as well. So again, do that work up front.
Yep.
Anything additional that you want to add, Jennifer? This is such good stuff. Thank you for sharing. I mean, this is great.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you start working and go back to your past clients. Don't be afraid to ask those past clients to write a review for you. I did end up focusing only on Google Business, to be honest with you. I don't ask for reviews in any other platform. I think it becomes too much for a client to have to write in all these places, even if they're just clicking and copying and pasting the same review. And to me, Google Business is the one that brings the most business back. It gives the most return. So I've given up on all the other areas. I used to use Rate My Agent, which they do link to Google My Business. Um,
Good.
but I feel like in Google, when you do it directly into the platform, you do come up higher. They don't really like for you to use a third party to post or to do reviews. So I end up doing just directly into Google Business.
That's great. Good stuff, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And again, Palm Beach County, let Jennifer Booker help you and your clients. And thanks again, Jennifer. Hang on, we're going to do some questions. I know we're going to run over because, man, my man Maxwell Stevens from the Poconos has got some amazing information on what he's been doing. He and I were in a mastermind out in Arizona last week, and I walked over and whispered in it. I said, you got to give this information out on a bigger scale. And so, Maxwell, if you can come forward and share with us a little bit about, hey, man, love everything you've been doing as far as that goes. I'm going to share our screen in just a little bit and just kind of show where we can walk through this. But if you don't mind, just tell everybody kind of your experience and why you have focused a little bit more on Google Business Profile.
Well, so I mean, I think, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, great. So I think, Google, like, we don't know if Zillow, Redfin, all these other review aggregators are going to be around. We know Google's going to stay around. So that was the most important thing in my book. Like, make sure that my business page was just dialed. And I'm like, the other panelists said, they focus only on Google reviews. I do too. I don't do any reviews on anything else. I wish I did have other reviews on those other things, but I think Google is the most important thing. So, I mean, I'm making sure that my Google business page is verified. That was a little bit of a process, but that was really important just to add that extra layer of trust. And then treating it like a social media platform. Google wants to see you active, and that's free organic search. So like if you're uploading photos, editing information, there's an update section that you can do updates. I love the idea of doing a rate update or a market update on the update section. And then replying to all reviews, I think was a really good thing the other panelists said, and that's pretty much everything I'm doing too.
Yeah. Hey, let's go through this. I just want to walk through this, and then I want to talk about, man, when you started talking about what you're doing with local businesses, I thought it was just brilliant. So let's start, though, and just kind of walk through this a little bit and just kind of see. A couple of things about your profile. You do opens, that your open closes at 8 p.m. Any of these, anything you want to comment on filling in everything, because you do a great job of doing that.
Yeah, make sure it's totally complete. And like, this is a little tedious, but so like it closes at 8 p.m. because I wanted to set a boundary with clients.
That's good.
Because I don't want to be called after 8.
Yeah.
I will answer the phone, but it's good to fill out everything. And then there's a thing called products in the
I want to scroll down.
Yeah. There's a thing called products, and it was tough for me, like, what products do we offer? And so what I came up with is I added things that we offer our clients that really nobody else does. So it's like Berkshire Hathaway Home Services specific. And so like we do have Quick Buy, that's a product. And then the planning guides, like here's a complimentary planning guide for you. And that's a product. In-home reviews, that can be a product, and HomeBot. So like those products, it's a zero price. It has a price part. I just put 0, and when people click on it, let me just go here. It just gives you like call for a complimentary zero pressure in-home review. So I think that's something that's really cool that you can do just to add another, just more additional value on you. Are you having trouble finding it?
Yeah, I was trying to find the products portion here because I wanted to show that. And what I may do is I may just go back into Google and just come back up to you and just real quick. So I'm going to just do Maxwell. There it is right up top. How about that? So when we look over here on the front page on this side here, you'll notice this is kind of what it looks like here. And as we scroll down, you'll see the reviews. And then you'll see his profile links, and then he has his products portion here. So I'm going to hit view all on this, okay? Couple
Yep.
things
So,
here. You want to go through these?
yeah. So quick buy, we have quick buy through Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, like an instant offer. And I use, if I don't have content for my photos or anything, I take it from Resource Center and use that. So like if you guys are having trouble getting high quality photos, Resource Center Marketing Resource has a ton of photos that you can put in your Google profile, in these products, and things like that are really, it's great. And they're all professionally done and they're gorgeous. So then the complimentary real estate lifestyle planning guide, I love this guide. This is my go-to guide for all my clients because we're forever agents and we plan for the future. So I wanted to put that in there. And it just goes over real estate dreams, deserve real estate plans. Reach out for your complimentary real estate lifestyle planning guide, or better yet, book a planning appointment with me today. So I think that's also good for SEO, for what my message I want out there to be. And then the in-home reviews. Let's see here. Call for his complimentary zero pressure in-home review where we will meet and go over home value, how's the market, home maintenance tips and mortgage options, and how to appeal property taxes and more. So like that's again just really good SEO and what I want to be helping with my clients. And then HomeBot. If nobody's doing HomeBot, it's amazing.
Great tool.
I think the open rate on the emails that HomeBot sends is like in the high 80s. And so I wanted to take that and that's a product that I provide my clients. And it's just the HomeBot Digest. It goes over a ton of stuff. So those are the products just to add another layer into my Google business page.
Yeah, HomeBot Fellow, basically what these products do is they set up where they automatically every month give a automated valuation, and there is as close to anything that I've seen with all the data points they utilize. But what it also does is it's branded for you, and it also comes directly from you. And like Maxwell's saying, I mean, these open rates are crazy through the roof on this, and it is truly almost like a financial like you receive a statement from any portfolio you have with stocks. This breaks down valuations, equity you have, where your mortgage is. Would refinancing make sense? Would a cash out refinance make sense to purchase another property? It's a truly great product there as well. So, hey,
Yeah,
Maxwell, let's do this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that just like if the HomeBot ties into our real estate lifestyle planning and reviews and being forever agents, like that's what gives us, like, it just gives us more. It's just value, right? So I love it.
Yeah. Hey, talk to me about what you're doing locally, because this was brilliant, I thought, as far as reviews.
Yeah, so this was a little bit of guerrilla marketing, right? So if you guys can follow along, but you can go to the Google Maps app on your iPhone, and that's where all this kind of lives. And your Google business page is on Google Maps now. It's not on the Google My Business page app anymore. And then you can go to contribute. And so what I did is I logged in as my real estate Google page, and I made my name Maxwell Stevens, and then in parentheses it says Maxwell.realtor, which is my branding. And so what I've done is I'm reviewing all local businesses in the area, and I'm also reviewing my competition and agents that I've worked with that I enjoyed working with, so that I could my name is out there more. And what you want to try to get to is, it's called a local guide. So I'm a local guide level 6. I'm working towards level 7. I don't know what that gets me, but it's given me
a million imaginary points. You get a
well,
million
right,
imaginary points.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
that's great.
But by doing this, so I've been reviewing other businesses. It shows on the other businesses, Maxwell Stevens, Maxwell Realtor on that page. And then I'll add a photo. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll overlay my logo, Maxwell.realtor, on that photo. So now my photo is on all the other business pages in the local area. And so I was looking at this the other day, and this is when I shared it with you, Jimmy, at Rethink. My all-time photo views on my reviews that I'm giving out to other businesses is 253,200 284, which is insane in my market. Our population is like 40,000 or 80,000. Like, so, that's awesome. And then the contributions, which is like giving, right? Attitude of abundance brings more abundance. So like I give to other businesses. The contribution views is 315,000 views on my reviews that I've given to other people, and they're seeing my name, they're seeing that I'm a realtor, and they're seeing my photo, and sometimes my photo, like I would, like I'm a big car guy, so I wash my car literally every day. So I would review the local car wash, and what I did is I parked my fancy car in front of my office with my business sign, reviewed the car washes that I go to, give them a great review, and it has to be detailed for more points. And then they see my car and the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Pocono real estate sign in the background. And I think that got like, 10,000 views. So that's just kind of working in the background, and it's fun. And I love the idea of like giving to other businesses. Like it's all about like spreading the love, and the love will come back to me. As far as other agents, like it kind of inoculates the competition. Like I work with other agents. Your house competes with other houses. So like I want to give the people in other brokerages props for like, it was a great deal. It was smooth. They were very knowledgeable. Like, and that helps them out too. So like, if I'm helping people and people are seeing me, I feel like I can't lose,
Yeah. Hey, listen, as we're getting ready to go into the Q&A, first off, Maxwell, it just shows your heart. I mean, it shows who you are. And secondly, this is such a great idea. I want to dive a little deeper because we got a lot of questions on this in particular. Some people are asking about, well, where is your picture? It's just your picture that you're sharing on your Google business profile, correct? That's the picture that it does.
So I'll review like the ladies at the bank. I go to the bank all the time and they love me. I call them, I say, good morning, angels, like Charlie's Angels. And we just have a good banter back and forth. And so I gave the bank a review, and I told all of the tellers to get into a group behind the counter. And I did a photo with them and then put that in the review. So like being intentional, making it fun is really important to me. But in your contribute guide, like, so if you're a local guide, in that little profile, it's connected to my email, my Google email. So
how did you get started? Like if somebody wanted to set that up, how would, and I don't know if we can see it on your phone, but if you can tell us for sure. And hey, if you're wondering, you can always go in and Google how do.
If you go to so here, let me just see here. Sorry, this is a little wonky. This is the Google Google Maps app on your phone. And and it says explore, contribute, and then it has your business page on it. So if you guys leave Google reviews for people, they're going to have you sign into something. I would recommend using your Gmail account, because then you can really dial it in to like how I did it with Maxwell Stevens and your name. And then it does have my headshot on it. It has my headshot, and then a description. And the description for my review local guide page is: growing up in this area my whole life, I'm spoiled by all the great things this area has to offer. As a realtor, I get to help people find their dream home and enjoy all these amazing places. So it's taking it up to a whole nother level of Google business. And people like we're all talking about getting reviews. Well, what about giving them? Right. So like, because everybody wants that. It's almost like a form of currency. Right. And I've been getting people like, thank you so much for the great review. And they're giving me free coffees, and it's just community. It's all about community.
And they never forget you. That's the thing is I mean, these folks, all of a sudden now, it's the law of reciprocity. And, when you go out and you give, people want to give back. It's just how we're built. And so what Maxwell's doing, and it's not his main purpose. His main purpose is just to be out in the community and sharing the love. But ultimately, I mean, Maxwell, you're having your best year ever. I mean, come on, man, right? I mean, we're seeing some amazing results, you know. And part of it is I think the more you give, the more you do receive. It's absolutely truthful. And so from that standpoint, I love this idea. So look, we got a lot of questions. I know I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Man, it's just so good. We couldn't stop. So listen, we're going to go over a little bit here. Anybody that needs to get off, we'll have the replay of this. You can just go to YouTube. But Maxwell, definitely when we come back and do the follow-up, I want you on there. This strategy specifically, we'll do a real deep dive and maybe show everybody exactly how to do that if that's okay with you.
My pleasure.
But hey, Sam, if you don't mind, let's get to, I mean, look, I know there weren't any questions. We didn't have any questions, right? That came through. And so I know you're on mute, but this is, I know what I love is seeing everybody helping with these coming through. But one of the things that's been great about this, and listen, let me, before we even get started, get into this, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Craig Duran in Panama City for letting us share some of his stuff. Maxwell, this is some amazing information. Like we were talking about before, the whole key to these masterminds is to get one idea. We call them quick wins. So what's the quick win you can have today? I mean, maybe it's what Maxwell said. Maybe it's like Jennifer said of going in there and how you ask for the reviews using that Starbucks card. Maybe it's with Rachel just helping you get an idea with the question or the email you can send to ask for that review. Whatever it is, take one thing from today and apply it, and I know you're going to get some wins. So as we bring everybody back up, Sam, any questions in particular? We can't get to them all today. We're going to do a part 2 coming up in about 3 weeks probably. But anything in particular that stood out that we saw a number of times asked?
Yeah, we have a lot of questions about actually getting verified and going through that process. And so it looks like people are experiencing a few different things. I don't know if that's regional. I don't know if that it's interesting. There are people that are having trouble even with claiming the business and saying it's already been claimed, right? And so for anyone, and maybe Rachel, we'll start with you, what have you experienced or how have you helped agents overcome just getting the business approved and then verified?
Yeah, there's a number of reasons that all that could be happening. It's hard for me to say without really looking at it and seeing like what the actual error message is that people are getting. I have seen that a lot, so you're not the only one for sure. Honestly, what I would do is I would open up ChatGPT and put exactly what what the error is that it's saying and see what it says on tips on how to fix that. It's hard to say without looking at it exactly. Yeah.
Maxwell.
Maxwell, you ran into this, didn't you, a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. And so what we did, Google has a fantastic support system, and you click support and then you put in your phone number and then they call you. And that's how we did we ironed out every wrinkle. They actually talk to a live person and they're extremely helpful for like this monster company that they are.
Great.
And
I didn't even know that was there.
Did you find that support number like directly on your admin panel or?
Yes, it's on the admin panel. Let me see if I can, terms of service.
If you get it pulled up, Maxwell, share your
go
screen.
to your Google business page, help and support.
Can you share your screen? Can you share your screen and show them where it is? Can you share your screen and show them exactly where it is?
I can. I'm on like, you should see what I look good here, but I'm like all over the place over here.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Listen, I think that's a great point. And another thing is with ChatGPT, if it says, where do I find, just go in there and ask, where do I find Google support on my admin channel? And,
so I think
hopefully it's
I found it. So once you're on that page here, let me share.
You want to share your screen? Show it. Yeah.
I got it here. Okay, so everyone can see my screen, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you're on this panel here, if you just Google yourself, and if you're signed into your Google account, this will show up. And there's this little ellipsis here. If you click on that, I think this is where you're talking about, right, Max?
Yep.
Click on help and support, and then from here,
all the way down,
contact us.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then go through all those steps, and then it should have an option for them to call you.
Contact options. So if I just, you can see me doing this for my wife here. I don't want to go through and mess things up here,
Yeah.
but yeah, you just go through and go through that process. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. Hey, I know I've noticed a few people asking for Chris's slides, Rachel's slides, those things. If we've got those where we could post those as we're getting ready to go off, and maybe also if you will, we will have these posted up on the replay on YouTube as well in the description, and so those will be available as well. Any other, I mean, pressing questions with time that we've got? I want to be cognizant of the panelists' time as well. Maybe let's do one more question for now, Sam, and then if we can maybe come back in here and grab some of these questions so we prepare for the next one. Even better to answer as many of them.
Absolutely. So, another question was regarding the name, and I'll toss this over to you, Jennifer. And your Google business page name, have you found any best practices like, Sam Guillen, realtor, real estate broker, or your company name? Like, what have you found to be the best practice there?
Well, you definitely want to use your location where you're servicing.
Yes.
So my
Yes.
my website is my name. You are the brand, so you definitely want to use your name, and then also use where you're working. Either, for me, I could have used Palm Beach County or Wellington. So definitely use the location that you're servicing, because that when someone's searching, you're going to come up.
Yeah, I think somebody in the chat says that advice has evolved over the years, and like I think everything on Google, everything on the internet, everything in tech evolves over time, and so maybe what we shared 4 or 5 years ago is probably different today. But I think that brings up a good point. I think Rachel mentioned it in her presentation, is you need to stay on top of these things, right? Mm-hmm. So Maxwell, how often do you go in and do maintenance on these things?
So it's important to keep updated, but I will say be careful about changing your name if you already have a name, because that will trigger a whole new nightmare. Like, deal with the name that you have because you don't want to. It doesn't like name change or location change, because if you do that, they have to mail you a new thing to verify your location, and then why did your name change and it's fraud? Like, don't do that. But I try to get in there like at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, to like upload some photos and maybe change like a few things just to show that my profile is active.
And look at your performance and see what words are getting hit. Like Berkshire Hathaway for Rachel had like 1,700 views. So that's definitely one you want to keep. And the ones that are not really being searched, go into, changing those, use the keywords everywhere and see what's being used.
Great. Sam, I think for time's sake, let's wrap this up. Man, I can't thank this group enough. This is a perfect example. And as we were there yesterday at Harry Norman, Chris and I were, it's great just to see agents throughout the Home Services Network and obviously Berkshire Hathaway Home Service, just to see what is the amount of collaboration. And I can't thank Maxwell, Jennifer, I mean, obviously Rachel, Sam, for all that you're doing here as well. And listen, you can see this recording. Let me just give you a little cue. Next week, you better come with your seatbelt on and ready to take some notes. Jimmy Mackin and I did a video that I'm going to wait to release for Inman and on YouTube until we do this personally for you guys. We're going to go through and give you specific things that we're doing. He and I have got a group of 30 agents that we are working with right now, that he is just spoon feeding them exactly what to say, how to say it, and the messaging going out. And he's going to break all that down. We'll have some stats from some of those things so you can see the best practices that are working right now. So show up next week. And thanks again, guys. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.
See you later.